Hey friends, welcome back to another episode of Trade Stock. This is weekly update on Trade Stock. I'm your host, Justin White, and I am super excited. We got a lot to talk about this week. We've got AI updates. We got the stock market in the toilet, which we're not even going to really hit on. We opened up a new branch in San Luis Obispo officially on Monday, and I am thrilled, excited, grateful to tell you that today's podcast, the weekly update, is powered by Kress Commercial. That's right, folks. It's official. After almost 3 years on the Trade Stock podcast, we have officially partnered with Kress Commercial to power the weekly update and bring you guys this episode every single week. Not a lot of change in programming other than some special offers coming down the pipe from Kress, specifically around their Voyager. So stay tuned for some special offers coming down. Now, before I get into the episode, I just want to take a minute and thank Kress. I want to thank DJ, Meg, Todd, Gabe, Don Gao, the entire Kress team. I mean, I can go on and on with the people, the folks, the team at Kress that has supported K&D over the last year and a half as we have transitioned all, now going on 25 maintenance crews, to fully electric powered crews. And the latest update in the Kress journey at K&D Landscaping is that we had a major breakthrough in the Voyager testing world. So we have been testing the Voyager, which is, and if you guys don't know, the Kress is a commercial equipment provider. They make and distribute only battery-powered equipment. So they are not making gas-powered equipment, which I think is incredibly important. We chose Kress for many reasons, one being that they don't have a distraction around a combustible engine like some of the other big name brands do. So all their energy, all their R&D, everything is focused towards their battery platform and specifically their autonomous platform. And they are the undisputed leader as of this moment in the space. So the Voyager is a 40-inch, soon to be larger. They're rolling out a larger 60-inch deck coming at some point, hopefully this year, maybe early next year. Keep you posted on that. We will let you know when we know. But the main thing is the 40-inch Voyager is level 5 autonomy, and it allows us to not supervise the unit all the time. I mean, yes, we're going to have people in the area working next to it side by side, but the nice thing is our plan is to have one person, one technician dispatch up to 3 Voyagers on one property at a time and be able to manage all 3 of those Voyagers. So you take one or you take 3 mowing people, usually lower paid, and you replace them with one higher paid person, or ideally promote one of those team members to be a Voyager technician. And this is what we're super excited about at K&D. And the breakthrough, what's the breakthrough? Well, we have been testing it on these really small strip lawn areas in an HOA and the front yards. So part of our expansion in San Luis Obispo is managing, I think there's about 1,200 homes in this. I'm just going to round it off, 1,200 homes. And it's really spread out. And there's a ton of lawn, a ton of grass. So there's strips between the sidewalk and the street. And then a lot of these houses have front yards with lawn in them. So right now there's roughly anywhere from 5 to 7 full-time mowing technicians out there mowing the lawn every single week during the growing season and every other week during the non-growing season. Because in California, we're pretty much mowing every week at this point, and maybe every other week for a few months there in December and January. But here's the really cool part is we were struggling a little bit getting the Voyager to cut these strip areas because they're so narrow, there's trees in it, and the path of travel was not working as well as we would like it to work. So as Kress does, they listened to our feedback, they updated the software every night over the course of 2 weeks. We were plugging the Voyager in and connecting it to Wi-Fi so it could actually update that night with new code. And just recently, as of last week, we were able to go and mow multiple sections of lawn, of front yards, and mow strips and move the Voyager from lawn to lawn to lawn autonomously. And guys, this is the breakthrough because there is not another mower in the market today that is able to do this type of work autonomously, where it goes from lawn to lawn to lawn over, think of a cul-de-sac with 15 homes in it. It can go and mow all the lawns using the sidewalk as a path of travel. Bunch of questions I'm sure are going to come from this, but please reach out. I'm happy to share our experience. Sean and John have been kind of heading this up at K&D, and we're happy to share our case study with you guys. So anyway, big shout out to Kress. We really appreciate them. And I'll say this last thing, and I'm just like, this is what I do. This is the weekly update. This is what's going on in our world. It's not because they sponsored the show. It's because we are utilizing this equipment to raise the bar in the landscape industry. But I need to tell you guys this. It's really important. If you're a landscape company out there and you want to increase the wages of your team, you want to be the tip of the spear, innovative company in your market, and you want to onboard, roll out, and deploy autonomous mowers, it is critical. It is critical today that you move towards an electric platform. I'm not going to argue with the guys in the Northeast about the leaf cleanup, all right? Yeah, keep some gas equipment in the shed. I don't care. But if you move to an electric platform, then you're going to have the charging infrastructure, the trailers, the setup to then deploy the autonomous mowers when you're ready to deploy them. And hopefully it's now. Hopefully you're deploying them as we speak. Hopefully you're getting ready to take your first delivery like many around the country are. You guys are seeing the LinkedIn post. The Voyager is out and about. If you're not in line, if you haven't put your deposit down, I would say let's get in line. Anyway, I'll end with that on that topic, and I'll keep moving, but I just really, really believe the electric platform enables autonomous mowing and autonomy in general, and it's been great for us. And we didn't do it because we're in California. That's a whole nother topic. Okay, I got some other topics to talk about. I want to share a little bit about what we learned in greenfielding a new market. Greenfielding a new market is tough. A lot of people buy companies, do acquisitions. Maybe they don't grow outside the region because they're nervous about what that next branch looks like. That was us for 39 years, and now we finally went and planted a flag down in San Luis Obispo. I'll tell you about that. And then third, we're going to talk about AI because it's insane. It is insane what just happened. I'm recording this, and yesterday, I'm going to save it. I'm going to save it for the AI section. So hang tight. I'm going to wrap with the AI section. I'm going to give you guys at least 5-6 minutes of AI. So before we get to AI, let's go to the branch. So we started a new branch. If you've been listening to this, you know the deal. We just opened up in San Luis Obispo. Big, fun stuff happening. The team here at K&D crushed it. So let me give you a bit of a overview of the timeline. We started working on this slow expansion almost 2 years ago. Me and Tony primarily were going down there, flying down there, doing business development work, like hardcore knocking doors, having lunch, having dinner, staying the night, talking with people, just like hitting the ground. And we finally have, messed up enough stuff and, got our nose into things where we finally got an opportunity to bid a big project, and we landed it, big property, 1,200 homes. And we got the property in late December, so we had about 60 days to ramp up and get going for that. That all went down, and then leading up, we were able to interview and then offer and hire 15 new team members in that area. We transported or transplanted, I guess you would say, one of our team members, Juan Sotelo. Shout out Juan. Juan's been working for our family business for over 33 years, so he is the best guy to go down there and just implement our culture, our K&D way in the San Luis Obispo region from an operational level. We got additional help from Andy, who's down there on a weekly basis, and many other folks. But here's how it went down. So Sunday, we went down. I didn't go down. The team went down. So our employee success team went down. They did the onboarding, which includes harassment training, which includes all of the uniforms, going over PPE. It's part of it. Everyone gets a laptop. You go through the whole process of getting people orientated. It takes about 4 hours. And so they got everybody onboarded, really integrated on Sunday. And it was really cool because the crews got to see all the new trucks and the new electric equipment. And there's a lot of feedback on the electric equipment first it was nervousness and maybe not too much excitement. And then they started playing around with the electric equipment. They're like, this is really nice. No fumes, no loud noise, no vibration, easy to learn, easier to learn than gas. You don't have to worry about things breaking. So they're really excited. And it was just a great day bringing new people into the company. So we hired 15 people, I guess, overnight. And on Monday, Andy went down there for the rollout. He was there for the rollout along with our EST team. They stayed the night and made sure everything went off smooth. What I'm most proud about is, as the CEO, I was not there. Now, part of that was by choice. I really believe in the team that we have and we built. And my job has nothing to do with going down and onboarding new team members, except helping to translate and transfer the vision of the company. I want to share the vision of the company to the new team. So I'm letting them get settled in. I'm going to be going down there next week to really talk through the vision of K&D and make sure all the team members get a chance to meet me. But it was really important to me that the team we have in place went down and stood this branch up, because they deserve all the credit. They've been doing all the work. And that's an incredible just moment for me personally and for the entire team to open up this region after all this work and all these plans. And most importantly, me not having to be down there. And that just gives me the confidence that we're building the right company in the right direction. And we're already eyeing our next spots. We've, like I said, it took 2 years to open this up. So we're already working on some other markets. And if you follow me on Instagram, you probably see where I fly my plane. You could probably put 2 and 2 together in some of the new markets that we're planning to open up. Stay tuned for that. We're keeping most of that a secret for now. Okay, so if you guys want to talk more about that or go deep on the greenfield process, the strategy, everything else, just check out the Disruptors. That's where I share most of this stuff in really deep detail. We talk about it in our weekly calls, or you can always just reach out. Hit me up at justin@jwhitegroup.com. Okay. All right, guys, we're 12 minutes into the 15-minute podcast. Hang tight. This is going to be a little bit longer. I need about 5 more minutes of your time talking about AI. All right, here we go. Okay. So I want to share with you guys some of the tasks that you most likely are dealing with, and I'm going to name the AI tool that we are using within K&D to handle these tasks. And when I say within K&D, it's primarily our tech team. We have an internal technology and innovation team. Sean, basically, he's our leader of this team. It's a team of one for the most part, guys. I don't want to lie to you and say we have this big AI team or anything, but you know what? One amazing team member, and Sean really is, can get a hell of a lot done these days with the technology. So here we go. All right, if you're needing note-taking done, Otter is going to be one of the best. Otter or Fixer. Fixer is Fyxar, and that's going to show up in Zoom meetings, in team meetings, or you just pull it up on your phone. It's going to record and transcribe meetings, giving you takeaways. You've probably seen this. You may be using it. Really trying to play with the hardware. So like physical device development, like app development and coding and everything else. Claude is really the tool that we're going to for this. So if you're needing to create artifacts, like you're needing to create a PowerPoint, an Excel spreadsheet, you're needing to create a deck or some sort, Claude is going to be your go-to creator of this, but not necessarily your finished product. And I'll give you an example. So Claude, I'm using Claude to build out the infrastructure and oversight and content of a big 20-page investor deck we're putting together. And then I'm putting it into GenSpark to really pretty it up, make it look really nice. And it's incredible. I mean, I was driving this morning for about 45 minutes, and just verbally, I was able to build out a 20-page deck just without typing or looking at anything. And it has all of our brand guidelines built into it with K&D, what color green, what the skew of the colors are, the font of everything. So it comes out like really freaking good. It's incredible. Email management, there's so much going on here and so many options. I'm currently using Fixer for this, Fyxar. This is, I think it's AR. It's AR. No, it's ER. Sorry, Fyxer. So this is really helping me label emails. It's going to automatically label emails based on what you tell it. and it works really well. It can also draft responses in your tone, in your wording. You can upload or create a list of examples, I guess you could say, of your writing. Again, I would use Claude to pull all that data out of my email, put it into a Word doc, and then I'd upload that to Fixer and say, hey, write like me, write like this. When it comes to brainstorming, there's a few tools we're using. One is WhisperFlow, really a good way to get ideas out of your head, especially via voice, but it's not necessarily like a note-taking tool. The next tool around brainstorming is going to be, it's funny, I really like ChatGPT for this still. ChatGPT is still really good for brainstorming, but that's pretty much all I'm using it for now. I'm primarily in Claude or Gemini or another program, and I'm not finding myself in ChatGPT very often. But when it comes to brainstorming, it does know me really well because I've been using it for multiple years. So I still use chat for brainstorming, just trying to get your brain onto paper or your brain into words. Claude also can be used for this. It works really well. It's just, I find Claude a little more matter of fact. It does ask some good questions, but I just feel like ChatGPT is a little more conversational. Although the 5.2 model I don't love, so I typically will use an older model, but the new model that's coming out any day now from OpenAI is supposed to be really good. Financial reporting, CAPSA intelligence is what we're primarily using. So we have CAPSA that's integrated, pulling APIs out of Aspire. So we have really clear financial data on a daily basis. And I'm talking about when is the last time we propose an enhancement on any property? What's the penetration rate? What's the gross margin? What's this? What's that? Labor variance, everything you can think of that you'd ever want to know about your direct expense that you run in your landscape or trades business. CAPSA Intelligence is really building the dashboard that we go to for that. Now, when it comes to financial analyzation, like a CFO or a controller is going to do a month-end report, Claude's going to be your best tool for this. So what I would do is, you've probably heard me say Claude a lot. If you're not using Claude today, go get it right now. Download it. It's made by Anthropic, and give it a shot. Test it out. I think you're really going to be impressed. So what I did is I built out a skill set in Claude Cowork, which is on your desktop, and I created a skill set around our financial methodology and my personal financial thesis and how I look at financials, what I want to look at, what percentages I want to look at, like gross margin, contribution margin, EBITDA percentage, net margin, marketing spend to overhead or marketing spend to revenue, all these different things that I want to look at. I've kind of built it in to this skill set. And then what I do is I'll upload our P&L and it'll produce me a report within a few minutes. That would normally take a few days, maybe a few weeks for a really talented controller to put together. And believe me, like, we do this. We've done really, really deep monthly financial reporting for years now at K&D. And now I can do it in 5 to 7 minutes with Claude now that I trained it. The training took me about an hour or so, but it's just incredible what it can do. So if you're looking for financial deep diving, I would say that's Claude. That also goes into like forecasting and budgeting. Claude's really good. Daily brief, Claude Tasks in Cowork is going to give you a great daily brief. So I'd use that. I really enjoy using that. GPT, like ChatGPT it's another thing I use ChatGPT for, is like a daily reminder, like a workout reminder. So I had ChatGPT build me out like a 4-week workout, and every morning it'll email me or notify me, message me, however I have it set up, to let me know what the workout is for the day and kind of get me moving in the right direction. When we go into email management, I mentioned Fixer earlier. There's another level to this that I want to be very careful of recommending, and I just don't recommend to most people. It's called OpenClaw. You've probably heard of OpenClaw. It's really the first agentic system that you can train an agent to go and do things on your behalf. Truly utilize your computer as if you were sitting there using it. That brings with it a whole host of security challenges. But if you really are an engineer or a technical coder, you can set up OpenClaw to do some really amazing things. We are testing it out on closed systems, closed servers. So we're not giving it access to anything in terms of our global data, but we are testing it in isolated conditions. Sean mostly is testing this, and it's incredible what we're seeing, whether it's reading and sending text messages or emails, basically anything that you would ever do on your computer, OpenClaw can be trained to do. That kind of leads me into agent building. A lot of you guys have probably heard about agents and what's going on with agents, or just hype around agents. And there's a lot of agents out there. There's a lot of, I'm using the air quotes, agents out there that people are calling. And really what it is it's just a skill set that has been trained within a large language model. It's a protocol that large language model is going to run. It's really not an agent. Like, an agent, in my opinion, is it's understanding what's going on in the real world at the real moment. It's making decisions about the data that it finds in it and it sees, and then it's taking action on that data that it understands. Most agentic platforms today are basically a pre-built protocol, and it's waiting for you to prompt it. So you have to prompt the agent to get it to do things. That's not, in my opinion, an agent. That's just kind of like a wrapper, a large language model wrapper with a protocol built in of what it's going to do, if this, then that. An agent, it goes out, it finds its own information unprompted. That is the most important thing, I think, that we're seeing with OpenClaw, and a little bit on the Claude Code side and some of the other stuff happening. When we get into other stuff, like moving on, data management, Google is still a great data management system. Microsoft SharePoint, great management system. The thing is, we're seeing things move more to SQL databases because it's becoming more searchable, more accessible, utilizing your AI agent like OpenClaw. And that's where things get really interesting, when you start to have a lot of data built into your system that you can access based on a prompt or based on a protocol that you've created that doesn't need a prompt. So for example, like an email comes in from a client asking, hey, when is this job going to get done? I'm just throwing some theoretics out here. That agent can then see that email, understand what that email means, go into the scheduling board, look at the scheduling board, see that job is scheduled for 2 weeks out, email the client, hey, it's scheduled for April 15th. You're going to have Tom and Bob on the job, and they should be there at 8 a.m. Let us know if you got any other issues. Now, of course, as I say that, you're probably thinking, I don't want an agent making that type of communication with my clients. But how long does it take you to get back to the client? So if that data is correct and it can look at the calendar and respond accordingly, you can see how account managers, project managers, and people who deal direct with customer are going to be relieved of some of their major pain points over the next 6 to 12 months, maybe faster. All right, SOP creation, we're using Leanscaper for a lot of this. We're in the Leanscaper ecosystem. We're using Lean Docs. We're also using the Leanscaper huddle for a lot of communication within our team, and that's working super well. We're very much in the beginning phases of the Leanscaper rollout when it comes to the huddle feature, when it comes to the SOP creation and Lean Doc savings. We're in the accelerator program that Mark Bradley's built out. So we're going through that every single week, building out new SOPs. Leanscaper is awesome. If you aren't in Leanscaper, it is free, but there's also some other stuff that we use. We pretty much any large language model is going to build you a good SOP if you create the format that you want everything in and you save that within a project instruction sheet. So Claude, GPT, pretty much Gemini, all these have projects, and you can create a project called K&D SOPs. You can save instructions in there, and then every time you need an SOP creator, you just go to that project, bada bing, bada boom, it spits out an SOP super quick. The real question is, where do you store your SOPs, and how does your team access them? That is incredibly important and something that every company is struggling with right now. My solution is a mixed bag. I can't say we have a solution. We're testing out 4 different things, and they're all working pretty good. We just want to keep our options open to anything. So we're using Google Docs, we're using Leanscaper, we're using Microsoft SharePoint, and we're also building on the back end our own little SOP data set that we can pull from. So it's kind of a cannonball approach. So, or like bullet, then cannonball approach. So we're firing all these bullets and then we're leading to cannonballs. So let's go into vibe coding. Vibe coding's big right now. So if you can think about something and how you want it to come out, you can vibe code it. So I'm going to give you an example. We have a review packet that we do with our team on an annual basis. Every employee in K&D gets an annual review. That review packet has a series of questions on it. How do you align with the core values? What's a big win you've had? What are you struggling with? Did you accomplish your goals? Blah, blah, blah. It's like 6 pages. It's pretty good. It's not great. So we've been retooling that. And what's really cool is before, when we had to go into a PDF like Acrobat and edit this PDF, like drag and drop boxes and try to make everything work, now we can basically just like speak in to the tool, whatever we're using, and it can generate this PDF that's a fillable PDF that we can then replace our review forms with. So what used to take maybe a few days or a few weeks to put together can literally be done in an hour if you have the right people in the room. That's the power of vibe coding. So if you want to go deep into the app creation, really go deep into it, Lovable is going to be a great tool. I mentioned GenSpark earlier for slide decks. That's great. And there's more that are like, I'm not even going to get into this other stuff because it's pretty highly technical. And it's stuff that honestly, I should probably bring Sean on to talk about because I'm like, trying to keep up with this. Like, I feel like I'm on a treadmill and I'm running as fast as I can. And every time I look up, like the trainer's hitting the plus button and he keeps increasing the incline and he keeps increasing the speed. And it's like, I'm just trying to keep up with all this stuff. I'm sure you can feel what I'm feeling and you're going through very similar things that I'm going through. So I definitely think I should have Sean come on and explain some of this stuff to us because it's insane what we're seeing. Like we have like a K&D app that we're tracking all of our experiments in. We're tracking waste in. We've got a lot of cool stuff we're rolling out. And it's really just like, oh, I have this problem. All right, I'm going to build this tool to solve this problem. So enough said. We're going to start to land the plane here. I just want to say if you guys are going to listen to this podcast next Wednesday, and I hope you do, I know you will be blown away by what is said on that podcast. I'm not going to tell you the guest. All I can say is there's a major bomb being dropped on the Trades Talk podcast next Wednesday. So stay tuned. We're going to launch it at 6 a.m. Pacific, 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Trades Talk is going live with an episode that will shock the industry. Stay tuned, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks for tuning in to Trades Talk, where the next generation of disruptors comes to raise the bar. If you got value from today's episode, share it with someone in the trades who's ready to level up. For more tools, insights, and community, follow host Justin White and join the movement at jwhitegroup.com.